Alright, here goes nothing. Greetings and welcome to the comeback stream. I have not streamed in several months, but here I am, back once again, this time with Sonic Adventure. This is the GD menu, as my Dreamcast is not the same one I used to own. It's a modded one, with a GDMU, they call it. It lets me play games off an SD card, and to break in the new year, I figure why not give Sonic Adventure, the original Dreamcast release, a 100% playthrough. I have sat in on my friend Sunset's 100% playthrough of the Xbox 360 release. However, the Dreamcast release is very different, even in some ways from the Steam release when you mod it to be more like the Dreamcast release. So, without further ado, let us begin. This is a 100% playthrough, meaning I am going after all 130 emblems. I have never done this on any version of Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 for that matter. I am super close to doing it on Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube version. I'm at 174 emblems, I believe. 170 something, so I'm very close. Only have a bunch of the Chow stuff, plus one more Cannon's Core emblem left. And I'm at 100 something on my GameCube copy of this game, which is the version I grew up with. Now I can probably up the game volume just a little bit. Hopefully this isn't too loud. Let's have it be at 30.8 in OBS. No dropped frames so far. I can count the times I've streamed at this apartment on one hand, at least seriously streamed stuff. Because there's Mario Party 3 story mode that I attempted that one time back in July of 2023. Feels weird acknowledging 2023 as a past year now. Something about it. I don't know what. But yeah, there was the Mario Party 3 stream. There were a couple DMC4 test streams I remember. And this wasn't a stream that happened here, but it did happen while I lived here, because I did it in my friend Austin's place, the Doki Doki Literature Club live stream. So that as well. Streaming is something I want to do more in 2024, even going later into the year when it becomes a little more complicated to set it up, because I may or may not be moving back in with my dad. Just to offset things, but that is completely off topic. For now, let's just kick back and enjoy this game from 1998/1999.
Select a memory card. Select your file.
Okay, so let's double check some things in options. Sound output is stereo. Message settings, that way we get subtitles, and we are playing in English because we need to relish in this adventure cast. Ryan Drummond as Sonic, tied for my favorite Sonic voice along with Jason Griffith. Not sure how long I'm going to go for. It is 11:44 in my current time zone, 11:44 p.m. Central. I will probably go for maybe like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Getting a decent way through Sonic's story. But I will say, if you have watched Sunset's 100% playthrough that I featured in, this is going to be structured differently. And I'll get into that later. A lot of the stage challenge emblems, you know, the B and A ranks, we saved those after the story playthroughs in that series of videos. However, here, so long as the story permits it, I'm going to do what the Golden Bolt did for his video review on this game, Learning to Love Sonic Adventure, And so long as the story permits, and so long as, I can actually get back to a level, and, reasonably get that stuff done, I will be jumping back into a level after beating it to get all those other emblems. All 2 of them per level, So long as it's not blocked behind an upgrade or not accessible.
Oh yeah, this could be fun.
Well, here's hoping it is, Sonic. I've never done something like this before for the first game. Or for the first adventure game. Unlike something like, say, Sonic Heroes, I don't have to worry about special stages here, so that's good. May or may not be doing a 100% Heroes run as well, but if I do that, it's going to be on GameCube. It's not going to be on the PC release, because I tried that recently, and there are a lot of scripting issues in that version. I'm not talking story scripting, like programming scripting. Like, scripts will break, you will go faster than you were intended to in an already really fast game, and stuff won't work as well as it should. Even compared to, like, the console releases, because it was developed for GameCube first. Kind of like how some scripts in the future versions of this game that are not on Dreamcast will sometimes break as well. People meme on how Sonic Adventure DX is one of the worst ports ever released. And speaking as someone who has nostalgia for the GameCube release and still considers that one pretty decent, I don't entirely agree, but I do see a lot of what people are complaining about, especially with the HD release. That was on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Steam. Though at least with the Steam release, you can mod a bunch of that to be like the Dreamcast original. Which is my preferred choice most of the time when playing this game. Because, as you will no doubt notice, I have not skipped cutscenes. I mean, I wouldn't skip them anyway because this is a stream playthrough and, want to experience the story.
What? Tails?
But let's say you're speedrunning. You cannot skip. Funny face from Sonic there. You cannot skip cutscenes on the original Dreamcast release of this game. Adventure 2 you can, but not Adventure 1. This is the same problem that plagues the original PlayStation 2 release of Kingdom Hearts 1, every release of Final Fantasy X, and the original PSP release of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII, among a few other games that I'm pretty fond of. Don't be bothered if the view suddenly changes. It does that sometimes. Thank you, Mr. Know-It-All. But anyway, without further ado, let us begin. Okay, I've never had that happen. Fucking clipping through the floor in the stage entrance. Let's go. And I already failed a well-known skip. Well, seeing as this is the first C mission of the level, that is to say, just make it to the end, it's no big deal. You'll see the B mission for Sonic's levels is finishing the stage with at least 50 rings, and the A mission involves beating the stage in a specific time limit. Or within a time limit. Obviously you don't die. Unlike Adventure 2, you do not die if you fail to beat the stage in the time limit. You just gotta try it again if you want the emblem. Either from the checkpoint, either from your last touched checkpoint, if you think you can be faster, which has been pulled off, or you just straight up restart the level. Unlike Sonic Adventure 2, when you hit restart from the pause menu, you restart from your last checkpoint, not from the very beginning. Sometimes a blessing, and sometimes very much a curse. We'll see. Hopefully I won't need that too much in this run. Nice. I very rarely take that lower path. I did a lot when I was a kid and, you know, wasn't as skilled at the game. But as such, but you know, as it is now, I am 25 going on 26. And already I I was trying to beat the level within 2 minutes because that's the time limit for the A mission, just to practice. Oh shoot. And I already failed that, so unless I can spam spin dashes here. Okay. So, you no doubt noticed I finished the stage in 1:58, but the game added 10 seconds to my time. That is a glitch on every version of this game where there is not a capsule to break at the end. If there's Tails in this case, or a Chaos Emerald in some later cases, or straight up nothing in Lost World's case, you will... The game sort of adds time. I guess that would maybe be taken by breaking the capsule. I guess to make sure you're not beating the level too fast. But you can't get multiple emblems from a stage playthrough anyway, so it's kind of moot. I do feel the facial expressions in this game and animations do fit better with the Dreamcast models than the higher poly models we would get in DX. But those models don't... The DX models don't look bad on their own, especially in the GameCube release, when they're not as shiny as the HD version. Yeah, Tails, that's all well and good. We need to get to the Mystic Ruins, to your lab, but I'd rather hang out on the beach still and clip through the floor some more. So yes, when you replay a level, Tails will be following you just like he did in the classic games. So that's nice. And even I don't know for sure in this version, but I know at least in the GameCube release and the future releases, you can plug in a second controller, much like the classics, and player 2 can control Tails. So that's neat. So we are one ring off, literally, from our goal. And we have 52 rings. 55. We can finish the level now, as long as we don't take any damage, without issue. Yeah, the thing is, with Adventure 1's extra objectives in its levels, you have to finish the level and do it. When Adventure 2 came around, and Mission 2 there was collecting 100 rings in the stage ended right when you grabbed 100 rings. Which I appreciate, personally. But they hadn't thought of that yet when they were making this game, so... Let's get the 1-up this time. I can't see the... So I can see my stream chat, but I cannot see if I have any viewers, unfortunately. So, if you are here, make your presence known. Missed the speed shoes, but what can you do? Oh, come on. I should let you know that I am playing... So I'm on the Dreamcast version. I'm playing on a CRT with S-Video cables. I mean, technically it is a composite cable with S-Video attached to it, but I am using the S-Video. And I'm also using a video amplifier to connect to both the TV and my capture card. A video amplifier that, you know, lets me split the signal. It splits multiple signals, actually, because it acts as a video selector as well.
Yeah, not bad.
Because I learned from Retro RGB that you should never use Y cables with video. With audio, it's fine. You'll just get like a slight buzz or hum. But with video, it's actually harmful to the system, and it's harmful to the electronics, and you should never do it. For the longest time, especially in those older demo disc videos, this was before I knew that, and so I kept using the Y cables for video. But no more. Even if it is kind of inconvenient to, you know, need to have such a big piece of equipment like that around, like the JVC video selector. I just gave away the brand. It's an older one. It supports composite and S-video, but it is pretty huge. But there are smaller ones you can buy off of Amazon, and those work just as well, to my knowledge. And I'll probably have to buy one just so I can be a little more portable with my setup, you know? Because obviously, when we... Oh, no! Okay. At least my checkpoint kept the time I reached it with, so that's good. But yeah, as I was saying, when I take the setup to my friend Austin's place, when we do more demo discs there, obviously the JVC is quite big and bulky, so I'm gonna need one of those smaller ones from Amazon or eBay or wherever I can find it. And if you're capturing from a retro source, I recommend you grab one as well. Okay, I still pulled this one back. That's good. I don't know, this may be, like, this may shape up to be, like, my personal best time on this level. I have not checked in a while. My most played version is the GameCube version. Well, I guess tied with the Steam release, because I've been messing around with stuff like the randomizer. And now I have all 3 emblems for Emerald Coast, so we can move on. But yeah, I'm using S-Video. So it's not the best source you can get. It's not the best quality you can get from Dreamcast, but it is for sure a step up from composite.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.
And because I'm using the GDMU, load times are going to be noticeably faster than the disc. And also, the Dreamcast is very quiet. It's very quiet. It has a modded little LED on the power light that shuffles between colors, which is nice.
If it isn't Sonic!
But yeah, if I were playing off a disc, the system would be making noise with the reader every time somebody talked, because it has to load the voice line off the disc. It'd be like, kind of like that. Oh, the legendary Dean Bristow. Still the Eggman voice actor I have the most fun imitating. Like, Mike Pollock is great, but I love imitating Dean Bristow. Beyond just the mimetic nature of some of these lines, like Adventure 1, Adventure 2, Heroes, even stuff like Advance 3, and I guess Battle to a lesser extent. So just some of the games he was featured in. Beyond the mimetic nature, he just fits the character perfectly, just like Ryan Drummond fits Sonic like a glove. Alright, the Egg Hornet. Let's see if I can pull off the Drunk Sonic glitch, as people call it. Alright.
No. Hey, I'll play with
Yes! Pulled it off. Oh, and I have to fight him again, though. I swear there's a way to do that and sync it up so that you can still... It'll still count as you beating the... It'll still count as you beating the boss, even though you died, and it'll transition to the cutscene. It is most likely a timing issue. Okay. They obviously did not intend for you to do that because, you know, he's supposed to be hit 3 times on 3 separate cycles. Doesn't really get any harder. He just maybe fires like 1 or 2 more missiles than before. But you'll see the boss how it's intended to be fought when I refight it as Tails or Tails later. What? Stocky Scribe P. Hello, sorry for bothering you. I want to offer promotion to your channel. Viewers, followers, use chatbots. Price is lower than any competitor. Okay, it's a... no. Go to streamrise.com. No, screw you.
Well, that wasn't so hard.
That is not something I'm interested in right now. I would like to grow my streams organically, thank you very much. As Eggman just holds the thing in the air like his name is Silver the Hedgehog. Like, his hand isn't even touching the emerald, if you'll notice. Instead, fingers are very low poly. But this is not the worst they'll get. Oh, just you wait. His mouth also does not move. Him, Big, and E102 Gamma. Well, Gamma doesn't really have a mouth because he's a robot, but Eggman and Big, they don't move their mouths when they talk. It's kind of weird.
I'll build Robotnik Land, the ultimate city, where I will rule it all. Come on, Chaos, let's find another emerald, shall we?
So we have our plot in motion.
Sonic! We can't let him get away with this, can we?
No way, Tails.
Without more emeralds, the monster can't transform. So, it's up to us to get the emeralds before Eggman does, huh?
Alrighty. Couldn't have said it better myself. Oh, oops. The cost of having everything mapped to a single button. Sega, in wanting to keep their games pretty simple, like in the Genesis days, everything... You have a jump button and an action button. That's it. X or B does everything from spin dashing to grabbing items to talking to people. Even though there are 4 perfectly good face buttons on this controller. And on every future controller that you'll be playing this game on, you know. GameCube, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and whatever controller you'd use on the Steam version. Yes! Alrighty. This is something I kind of miss in future Sonic games, where different sections of the level would have different music. Because the only games to really do it, to my knowledge, are this game, Adventure 2 with Cannon's Core, and as well as City Escape, Metal Harbor, mainly those 3 levels. Really, it's hard to nail down examples post Adventure 2. Sonic 06 for sure, where they would, you know, remix the stage theme depending on where you were. And I guess 06, or no, not 06, I just mentioned that game. Unleashed, Eggman Land, you had 2 tracks there, one for Hedgehog Sonic and one for Werehog Sonic. Uh-oh. But besides that, Generations does it a few times, like with the gun truck chase and City Escape. But I can't think of too many other examples right now off the top of my head. It is pretty late, so... Oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. You were not supposed to go that high. His legs are moving pretty slow, but going pretty fast. Alright, Chaos Emerald has been acquired.
Yeah, not bad.
Alright, and before I head back, I'm going to keep at this level. And keep at it with this level. I know for a fact, because of where it's placed in the story, I'm not really gonna be able to replay Skydeck right away. That's stage 8 on the egg carrier. I need to be collecting rings. Because you go directly from there to the inside of the egg carrier and then to the bridge. And it's just, you can't really get back there due to story reasons.
You should be able to get out of the tornado.
Maybe after the egg carrier crashes, I'll have to try that. Because it's the only level. I don't know, Red Mountain. Yeah, because you transition directly from Red Mountain to Sky Chase. But then you have to take time in the adventure field to get back there, and at that point you may as well use the stage select, you know? Because you still have to get back to Lost World, and then after that, you know, you still got Final Egg. This isn't really something you can... This sort of, like, rapid fire of stage emblems isn't really something you can do in Adventure 2, thanks to all the upgrades you need. Because, with a few exceptions, all the Mission 3s are locked behind the Mystic Melody in that game. And it's obtained pretty late for each character, often needing, like, another upgrade to even get to it. The stage it's located. Alright, this time I didn't go too high. Nice. Alright, I'll skip to the score animation this time. I need to get a move on. Because score in this game is nowhere near as important as it is in the sequel because of the ranking system. When I say B and A ranks here, I just mean the objectives themselves. There's no score requirement to reach. Alright, 3 minutes. Oh, I was a little worried about that one, not gonna lie. Yeah, this level isn't too bad to speedrun.
Head straight up. You should be able to get out of the tornado.
Camera problems aside. This is the original Dreamcast release, which lacks a free camera. We are just at the mercy of the game's auto camera. Future releases would give an option in the pause menu to switch to a free camera, which doesn't always work as well as it should, but it gives you more control than this game does. All we have here is just the ability to turn it left and right with the triggers, because the Dreamcast controller lacks a second analog stick. And even the one analog stick it does have has its moments, you know, where it's not behaving, you know? I will say, from my recent practice runs of both this and Adventure 2, the Dreamcast controller seems to handle this game way better than that one. But that's also just me having a bias... Oh, shit. Partially me having a bias towards playing Adventure 2 with a GameCube controller, which is not everybody's cup of tea, I've learned. But more on that when we get to that game. This is Adventure 1, so... No matter the release, Sonic will have his tendencies to, you know, sway left and right on paths like this one. It's just an unfortunate thing. It was their first go at 3D Sonic, after all, not counting 3D Blast, Sonic R, which is a racing game. And yeah, that's basically it. Well, I guess Sonic Extreme, but that was never released, even though there's a prototype floating around.
Yeah, not bad.
Made pretty good time. And now we can finally get a move on to one of the levels that is a bigger pain to... Oh, my goodness. Okay, I didn't want to talk to him. A level that is a bigger pain for the 50 rings in particular, because of how it works. Not so much for the speed run, but the 50 ring run is surprisingly tricky given the level's gimmick. Oh yeah, and a quirk to the Dreamcast version that is in no other version is that every time you enter a new room in an adventure field, the music has to reset. Which can get pretty annoying when you're, you know, going through the egg carrier, especially when rooms are closer to each other and it's more cramped.
Press and hold the action button to store up power. Once you have enough power, release the button and you can do the Lightspeed Dash. The Lightspeed Dash lets you race toward rings at light speed. As long as there's a trail of rings, you can go just about anywhere.
Good to know.
Ready, go!
If you play the GameCube version, or any other version, and come back to this one, Sonic says go in a different pitch than he does in the other versions. In this version, he's like, ready, go! Like, kind of monotone, almost. Like he loses his fervor for the act of light dashing in the middle of it. But in the other versions, he's like, ready, go! Sounds a little more excited. And it's not the only instance of those versions using a different take, maybe, of the line that they kept in. And they kept in the files. Maybe just messed it up when porting, I don't know.
This reduces the time needed to store power for the Lightspeed Dash.
So the crystal ring makes it charge up way faster, as you can no doubt tell.
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.
Alright, Stage 3, Casinopolis. This is a pinball-themed level. Now the question is, which pinball table do we start with? The Sonic-themed one or the Knights-themed one? I say let's start with the familiarity. So our goal in this level is to obtain 400 rings or so, because the Chaos Emerald is in a special room that needs to take our rings to basically make them a mountain that's high enough for Sonic to jump onto the Emerald. Ring 3K. Another quirk to the Dreamcast version that you will no doubt have noticed is the locked 30 FPS. With a few exceptions, those being the Twinkle Circuit minigame, the menus, and I think the credits, this game is locked to 30 FPS. In those other instances, the game will run at 60 frames per second. Unlike every other version where it runs at 60, regardless of where you are, even if the frame rate on the GameCube in particular is unstable. An unfortunate drawback to that version. Uh-oh. You have a limit of three balls on each pinball table. Once you run out of those, if you have less than 100 rings when you run out, you are sent to this underground sewer area. If you have more than 100, you're just kicked back to the main hall. Oftentimes, I feel like the sewer is the better way of obtaining rings than the pinball tables themselves, but you're not as much at mercy of RNG. With the slots and such. Even though there probably is a timing trick to them, I'm just not aware of it. Because I don't really speedrun this game very much. Though this run will be decent practice for when Sunset and I eventually race, most likely the 360 or the Steam release, because those are the only two she owns, and I don't expect her to buy a Dreamcast or GameCube copy with how expensive they've been getting. More so the Dreamcast, especially when she doesn't even own one, you know. Which, totally fair. I wouldn't recommend this system just for... Oh, man. I'm trying to go backwards in the hallway for these extra rings. Oh, goodness. But yeah, if you don't already own a Dreamcast, I wouldn't necessarily recommend getting it just for this game. Or even for Adventure 2. Even if that is one of my top fagotes, to steal a term from the Exoparadigm Gamer. And check him out, his content's great. But fagote is an abbreviation for favorite game of all time, if you're not aware. SA2 is one of my top fagotes. Specifically Battle on the GameCube, because not only was it one of my first Sonic games, the other one being Advance 3 on the Game Boy Advance. On top of that, I just think it's a really well-designed game, even today. Even compared to like a lot of other games in the series. But I can gush more about Adventure 2 later. This game is also really good. And part of my reason for starting this project was to find out whether or not I truly prefer Adventure 1 versus Adventure 2. Because a lot of my life, I've thought it was Adventure 2, and even now, that still applies. But Adventure 1, some of Adventure 1's hidden strengths have been brought to my attention recently, as well as some of Adventure 2's blatant negatives. And more of those will become obvious as we go through these playthroughs here on Twitch or YouTube if you're watching the archive. So we got this cutscene here, and then after that we'll go back into Casinopolis for the other two emblems. We've been going for almost 40 minutes.
Oh no, the Chaos Emerald!
Oh, no, you don't!
Oh, jeez.
Why don't they capitalize Jeesh there? Is that the name of a character in the universe I'm not aware of? Holy Jeesh.
What happened to that emerald we just had?
I guess Eggman's got one of them. But the other one's safe. That guy must be desperate.
That means his 2 to our 1, and that's not good. Come on, Sonic, we need to get
He's
busy.
clearly floating above the ground. Like he's not... he wasn't touching the ground there. That's pretty funny. But I know, Tails, you were wanting to get a move on. But we need more... We need to do more pinball. We need to gamble more. This time, instead of the slots, we're gambling on cards. This is the Nights into Dreams table, based off of Nights into Dreams on the Sega Saturn, which was only, I believe, only a year old before this game's Japanese release, which was 1998. But yeah, this level having a 50 ring requirement, you know, obviously, when you get the... You obviously need 400 rings to make the pile of rings tall enough for you to hit the capsule in this case. So in reality, you need to collect 400 and then go back into the pinball table to collect 50 more. Not exactly the most exciting thing in the world. But hey, I matched one pair of cards, which opens up the upper area, if I can actually get there. In case you were wondering about pinball controls, L flips the left flipper, R flips the right flipper, A flips them both, and you can even shake the table by moving the analog stick. No, sadly, you cannot cheese the shaking to get to the upper area that way, and I just wasted it, so I guess we won't be seeing it, unless I go back there. There we go. That's the stylish way of doing it. Alrighty. Oh shit! And I missed more rings. But I'll take a different path this time. Just to spice things up a little bit. I think these are slightly different in how many rings they carry. But that's really the only difference. This is more, as far as Sonic Adventure 1 levels go, this is one of the more linear of the pack. Okay, so we have slightly less rings than before, but the showers should make up some of the deficit here. You let him sit there, he has a little special animation. It's pretty cool. Spoiler alert, when Knuckles comes here later, because characters go through each other's levels in this game. Or they go through a shared... Every level in this game is designed for multiple characters. Sometimes to its detriment, unfortunately. Alright, exactly enough. But yeah, when Knuckles comes here later, he unfortunately does not have a special showering animation. So, to avoid going back into the pinball tables right away, I'll have to use these smaller slot things right here to get like maybe 8-ish rings at a time. Sadly, they do not pay out. Okay, that one was actually less than No, I have 18, so never mind. They don't pay out that much by design to force you to go into the pinball tables. There are quite a few of them, though, so I might be able to abuse it. Oh, Tails hit it, making the rings disappear faster than they would otherwise. Thanks, little buddy. Always looking out for me. Tails, I swear to God. His AI has probably fucked up speedruns before, I imagine. Kind of like in the classics. That's why I don't really play with Tails at my side whenever I do replays of Sonic 2 in particular. I'm literally 2 rings off. I am literally 2 rings off. And the thing is, if I exit, I have to either try harder in the pinball table to get 100 so I don't have to come back out here, or I just get 2 and have to go through the sewer again. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. This is actually super bad, and I partially blame Tails for that, because, you know, had he not gone and hit the slots by himself, maybe I could have caught those rings a little quicker. Okay, I already have 52. I'm gonna try for 100, just so I don't have to go through the sewers again. See, kickback. Temporarily blocks off the danger zone, as we'll call it. It's good because I can't fall down there and lose one of my pinballs. But it's also bad because I have to wait for it to go away to actually leave the table, you know? And I want to get a move on. I've been here 6.5 minutes, for fuck's sake. Thankfully, you do get 1 ring every time you hit a bumper. Okay, and now I officially have enough. And now we wait. Don't do anything. Yep, just like I said, this is one of the weaker 50 ring missions just because of the tedium. Okay, now that that's over. But we are not done with this level, because we still got a time limit mission to beat. I'm probably going to go straight for the sewers for this one, given how well they've worked out in the past couple runs. Alright, 5 minutes. Just so we can hear a little bit more of this remix. I forget the exact name of it, but it's a pretty good one. The other table might have actually been better from a ring standpoint, now that I think about it. Because you have more bumpers to, well, bump into for rings. But it's whatever. A 6-ring, or 9-ring, I guess, head start is still better than nothing. What was that old Mighty Number 9 meme with the shrugging Sonic photo? Better than nothing? Oh goodness. I'm gonna have to find that again. And eventually I'm gonna have to beat that game, probably on stream, because I bought it so many years ago, thought it was trash, and just settled for watching, I think it was Brain Scratch Combs' commentary of it. Oh no, I missed the little ring box down there. I'm gonna go for more of them just cuz. It's not like I'm hurting for time right now, but I can't believe I missed that. The showers and the slots should cover the deficit. But yeah, Mighty Number 9, that's an eventual, you know, awful shitfest of a stream. Oh no. Along with Frogger Beyond, I may have mentioned that game before. If not here, then maybe on my YouTube channel at some point. But Frogger Beyond is... That game, the level design is just trash. It has to be seen to be believed. Like, it's not like it plays bad, even. It's just very, very cheap. So, the showers have not covered the deficit. Hopefully the slots will. Actually, I don't know if they will, because they only gave out about 40 before. So I'm actually going to have to try with pinball, if the homing attack doesn't just make me go near the things anyway. Luckily, I only need about 51 rings, so hopefully I can get that in like 2 minutes time. This is the table I should have picked from the get-go. Okay. I just straight up picked a bad path through the sewers is what I did. Like, I should have stuck to my guns and kept to that right one that I took. But hey, now I have enough. Come on. Oh, shoot. No. Monitor, don't slow me down. It feels good to be streaming again, even if I don't have any viewers aside from that one bot earlier.
Yes. Yeah, not bad.
Cut it a little close that time, but still managed pretty well. And now, finally, can get on with a much better level ice cap. As long as the camera doesn't bug out. Silly you, going fast in a Sonic game? What do you think this is? Rocket science?
The train headed for the Mystic Ruins will be departing soon.
Or silly me, I guess. I don't know why I'm saying silly you. That's the same sound they would... Or, the little jingle there is the same sound they would recycle for finding upgrades in Adventure 2. With just a generic little text box telling you what they do, instead of the floating red ball who totally isn't to call. Floating orb, I should say, not a ball. I believe the manual calls it an orb, so I will follow the manual. Alright, Ice Cap. Definitely a highlight of this game for sure. Because you can do stuff like this. With the spin dash jump. Not something I'm pretty sure the devs didn't intend for it, but it is still very fun to mess around with, even if the camera doesn't, you know, cooperate sometimes. Oh, goodness. So I can't jump off of this? Oh, what the? There's a bit of collision there preventing me from jumping. If anything I can do to skip the icicles, because those are slow and not the funnest thing to go through. Not the most fun to go through. So you can get through this level, this room, far faster than I just did. Hopefully I'll be able to pull that off in the next 2 runs. Alright, time to snowboard. It's like the snowboarding segment at the very beginning of Ice Cap Zone in Sonic Advance 3. Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but better. Because it's fully 3D, it's more than 20 seconds, and you get this kick-ass music. Not that classic Ice Cap is bad music, far from it. But this one is just so quintessentially late 90s Sonic. It's great. This whole soundtrack, really, is pretty good. People will often say that Adventure 1's soundtrack is better than Adventure 2's because it's more varied. Genre-wise, you know? You have stuff besides rock and hip-hop influenced stuff. You have a little bit of jazz here and there. You have so many genres in this game, I can't begin to list them all off right now. Because as I said, it's late. But there is a more varied sound in this game than there is in Adventure 2. At first glance, you know? But to me, Adventure 2's soundtrack, I've thought this for the longest time, you know, it's not as varied in its soundscapes, but the melodies in Adventure 2 and the focus, and not just its game design, but its philosophies on soundtrack, is something I really appreciate. And I go back to Adventure 2 outside of the game, soundtrack-wise, far more than I do Adventure 1, even though both are fantastic. Adventure 2 just speaks more to my tastes personally. And that's not just because again, part of it does have to do with the fact that I played Adventure 2 first as a kid. I will not deny that. Part of it is nostalgia. And Adventure 2, you know, helped define a lot of my music tastes when I was young. I love alternative rock and hip-hop and rap now. Jazz, not as much, but I can appreciate the Rouge tracks nonetheless for being really easy on the ears and... Oh, shoot. I'm getting too caught up in my music tangent here. Can't focus. That's actually good that I went up there because that's guaranteed 50 rings. Okay, same spot as before. I don't know why what the hell the deal was with that accelerated jumping there. Okay, here are the icicles if you're curious. You move around them and you jump to the other icicles. Enthralling. It's not even the only section like that. There's one in the first section that I just skipped over through spin dash jumping.
Use the panel to jump. It may even help guide your way.
But yeah, Adventure 2 was very formative to my music tastes later in life. And I just think, as a soundtrack, both are iconic, but Adventure 2 is just better on the ears for me personally. And you'll see that when you'll see and hear that when we get to Adventure 2. Oh no. Yeah, I'm not doing that this time, unfortunately. But there is one right here. Don't have enough speed for a really good trick, though. The good thing about all these replays is I'm racking up rings, and I'm racking up extra lives, too. Because as you can see, I already have 29 lives, because 0 does count as a life in this game. As well as Adventure 2. And with all these rings, I would say, if this were any other version, the rings would be a great source of currency for items in the Chow Garden. But, because this is the Dreamcast release where there is no black market, they're unfortunately kind of pointless in that sense. Unless there's a way to bring him over to Chow Adventure on the VMU, which there is not to my knowledge. Alright, beat the level with, come on. 108 rings, there we go.
Yeah, not bad.
11 emblems. Out of 130. See, if I were playing normally... Oh, what am I doing? See, I mentioned myself playing normally, and instinctively I ran out to meet Knuckles. If I were playing normally, I would probably be either at Red Mountain or Sky Chase Act 2 now. Or by now. Because we're at an hour and 2 minutes. An hour and 2.5 minutes in the stream time. But I'm doing all these emblem challenges. And I didn't even see the time limit either. So, I got carried away. Crap. Okay, I'm just gonna straight up quit, because I already messed that up, and it's very likely I will not get the time. I will not hit the time par, or the par time, with that fuck up. So, serious face, this is speedrun time. 4 minutes.
Even if you're frozen, jump a couple of times and you should be able to crack through.
Yeah, rings are not as important here. Do not waste time trying to grab them. I'm guessing the camera in this version... Jesus Christ. Oh no. Here comes the salt. I'm guessing the camera in this version isn't as accommodating... Oh, come on. It isn't quite as accommodating for the spin dash skip there as DX is.
Be careful not to fall off.
DX better game? Hashtag. No. DX is great for putting the game in more people's hands, you know? GameCube version was how I first played Adventure, after all. And it's also great for letting you skip cutscenes, too, in a speedrunning sense. But aesthetically, the Dreamcast version has it beat hands down. Even if DX's quality of life updates are appreciated. Like, they also add they add maps for the adventure fields in DX as well. Which, if you get lost, can really help. So the time limit here was 4 minutes. I think it's safe to say I've got this in the bag. This is not to say that the Dreamcast version is not glitchy, because you've already seen a little bit of that. But the DX version's also introduced some more bugs. As you may have heard. Which also makes the Dreamcast version / Steam version with Dreamcast conversion mods the preferred experience. Beyond just aesthetics. Oh, goodness. Aesthetics and, to a lesser extent, music mixing as well. This also applies to Adventure 2. How many times have I said that? This also applies to Adventure 2. Dare you to play a drinking game with that one. No, seriously, please do not. Got some good speed going there. Also, those explosions will not hurt you, as you probably saw earlier. They make Sonic blink as if they hurt him, but you don't lose rings. They just slow you down a little bit. Alright, home stretch. Alright. Here we go. Ice Cap is finished. And unlike my friend Sunset's run, this is the last time I have to visit this level. Because DX added a mission mode, where you return to each character's levels, as well as some stuff in the adventure fields, and you complete various missions on top of the B&A stuff you had done earlier. There are 60 of them, if I remember correctly. And some of them are quite annoying. One of them involves getting a specific, perfectly timed trick off that last ramp in Ice Cap. Both as Sonic and Tails, by the way. So you have to do it twice. Not very fun.
What's up, Knuckles? Something bugging you?
No time for games, Sonic. Give me the emeralds you have, right now.
What? Let's just see you.
Notice how you said no time for games, but the subtitle said no times for games. There are never any times for games, Sonic.
Oh no.
Oh no. If you play a game, I'll say, oh no.
Oh no. Give it your best shot.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Here I go saying it now. Yeah, that is a leftover line from one of the betas when they directed Michael McGahern, however you say his name, the voice actor for Knuckles. They've directed him differently in that version. Sounded more like a Superman type than what he does here. More stern, more responsible, you could say. I don't know. It's just my take on it anyway.
Chaos Emerald.
I appreciate both takes.
That's right, fool. You made it all too easy. You practically gave them to me.
Hold it right there, creep. You can't get away with this. Knuckles, don't tell me Eggman tricked you again.
Me? What about you?
Way to go, Knucklehead.
Yeah.
Now I have 4 lovely emeralds.
So yeah,
Chaos.
we unlocked Tails right after meeting him. You don't unlock Knuckles until after beating Chaos 4, as you're about to see, because, you know, you go directly from the character fight, which was kind of ass, by the way, into this fight, which is also kind of ass. Namely because you have to fight him 3 times. Once as Sonic, once as Tails, and once as Knuckles. At least he gets a lower health bar as Tails for some reason. But it's still not the most exciting of boss fights. In fact, I can say that for a lot of this game's boss fights. They're fine, I guess, but Adventure 2s definitely offer more in terms of challenge and less in terms of, you know, redundancy in this one's case. Something you wish they would have learned from for Sonic 06, instead of making you fight Iblis Phase 2 twice. The Egg Cerberus twice. Once without a way to cheese him. Or one of those times without a way to cheese him. The Egg Genesis twice. The second time much harder because Silver runs slow as molasses in that game. More on that. I mean, I've streamed Sonic 06 before, and it's a pretty well acknowledged. It's a pretty, you know, extensively covered game on the internet. The day you see me 100% that game, with every achievement, every S rank, DLC included, you know. Oh, by the way, rest in peace Microsoft Store come June. So you won't be able to do that for the 360 store, and who knows when Sony will pull the trigger on the PS3 store. And you won't be able to play them unless you mod the DLC back in through Xenia or RPCS3. I went from talking about this game's bosses being repetitive, Adventure 2's being better, 06's unfortunately being repetitive as well, and then game preservation. Even for the bad stuff, you know? Like, me and a lot of other people wish that, you know, Sega would re-release stuff like Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic Unleashed. Maybe not 06, but probably Heroes in Shadow as well, despite their mixed critical reception. You shouldn't just preserve the good stuff. I mean, I hate 06 with every fiber of my being. It is not a good game. Not the worst I've played, but it is a bad game. Does that mean I wish for it not to be preserved? No. People still preserve bad films in libraries and such. You know, you don't see people, you know, saying like stuff like Jason X, for example, even though I kind of like that film. It's not the best film in the series by a long shot, but bad films deserve to be preserved. They should be preserved too, you know? We shouldn't just learn from the good of history, we should learn from the bad as well, so we know what not to do, or maybe some good ideas that were in something bad that are maybe worth trying again in the future, like Sonic Heroes' team-up mechanic. This TED Talk has been brought to you by Jinzo Fighter, aka Maxwell Boone. You just call me Max. Or Jinzo, whichever you prefer.
No problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
I totally just talked over that cutscene. Wow. But hey, we can still talk to Knuckles briefly here. If the game doesn't make me spin dash.
What's the matter? What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what are you waiting for? Go play this shoot-'em-up level that is fun in concept, but, you know, not very fun to replay for emblems.
Sonic, wait here for a second.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Both acts of Sky Chase have an extra emblem for you to get, as does every minigame. Besides the boss rushes, because those aren't really minigames per se, but you can select them from the menu regardless. They don't even have emblems for you. They don't have emblem. The boss rush in this game doesn't have emblems, period. In Adventure 2, they do. But anywho, Sky Chase Act 1 is the easier one in any percent. Is the easier of the two in an any percent run. In a 100% run, it is the harder of the two because it is shorter and the score requirement is very strict. Sky Chase Act 2 is longer and harder in a regular run, but it is easier in the 100% run because it's longer, has more targets, and the score that they want you to get to is more generous. So these being minigames, I will unfortunately have to... Oh, come on. I will have to go back to and play in the story... Or no, not the story. The stage select. I'm sorry. Should probably drink some water during these next cutscenes. You hold down the A button and you can lock on to multiple targets at once. And that is how you rack up most of your score. Through lock-on combos. You just tap A over and over for a Gatling gun. Okay, I already failed the no damage. But it's not like no damage is a requirement here. If it was, that would be quite infuriating. As I take more pot shots. I need to focus. I am no huge fan of these minigames, if you can't tell. At least they're better and more mechanically involved and interesting than the tornado defense sections from 7th Gen Sonic Unleashed. It's hard to fucking see those little launchers down there. I think I already met the score target, sadly, because I believe it's like 7,000 or 8,000. I'll have to double check. They don't tell you the requirement, unfortunately. Not like they do for the... Unlike what they do for the regular stages. You just have to fucking figure it out yourself.
We did it!
Way to go, Tails!
Look at Sonic's extra low poly model there. Exclusive to this version. Sonic seems awfully excited that they got hit there. Yeah! Whoa! Time for some more sips of water. I just muted myself mid-sentence there by accident.
Tails? Tails? You're not who I'm looking for. Oh, I wonder if he's okay.
Alright, I'm back. Apologies for that momentary wait. One sec, though. I think it is raining outside. Yes, it is. It says we're getting light rain. Just heard it during Sky Chase and had to check. This water looks really... doesn't look the best, but it's alright. Especially for the time. Oh yeah, I need to go to the casino area. Because a certain someone is waiting out there.
Sonic, wait up! Long time no see!
Amy.
What's wrong with you anyway? Listen, this birdie seems to be in trouble, so you need to be his bodyguard for a while.
You must be kidding.
Cool.
If you don't, we're just gonna tag along anyway.
They cut off the vocalist in the middle of her sentence. That scene plays out very differently from Amy's perspective. We'll see later.
Look! Eggman's robot's on the loose!
Robot is
Just
capitalized.
a chunk of cheesy hardware.
Whoa!
Oh, now what? Huh?
Look here! It says...
The W on that welcome is so blurry. Or at least it was from that angle.
Amy! Wait! Oh, man! That girl is such a pain.
remember something someone said on, I can't remember if it was YouTube or Reddit, but the storytelling in this game is very, like, episodic. Yes, there is the ongoing... Oh, shit. Come on. There is the ongoing threat of Eggman and Chaos, you know, stopping them from getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds. But the events connecting... But the connective tissue is kind of random. Like, we run into Knuckles briefly. We just ran into Amy, and spoiler alert, we're not going to be seeing her again for a bit, because she's about to be kidnapped. Oh, come on. Oh! Yeah, you come at those Yukikis, as they're called, at a low enough speed, and you'll take damage, unfortunately. Oh my goodness! But yeah, like I was saying, we're not going to see Amy again for a bit, and a lot of the stuff that, again, a lot of that connective tissue isn't as, you know, naturally flowing as something like Adventure 2, where the stakes feel higher, and thus, you know, every little step is contributing towards the narrative. Whereas in this game, you know, you have strong individual character arcs, like Tails we'll see later, Amy. Knuckles is a little more static, but he learns about his past, which is nice. Sonic's just here to stop Eggman, and because that's what he lives for. Big wants his buddy Froggy back. And Gamma learns a lot about himself and takes on a new life path, we'll say. Unfortunately ending in self-sacrifice. But it is for the greater good. Alrighty. So for this first pass through the level, I'm going to play it normally. Maybe a few spin dash jumps here and there, but I'm not going to take the massive, massive shortcut that we're about to skip over. See that little platform down there? You jump off the roller coaster and take that. It is a massive shortcut. Some would say mandatory, but I have found otherwise. I have found out otherwise that some would say it's mandatory for the time limit mission. It's not. With a few well-placed spin dash jumps, you can beat it just fine without that shortcut. Tempted to even try it myself, but I don't want to have to replay. I don't want to have to replay the kart racing segment too much. So, for the sake of simplicity and getting a move on, I am going to take the shortcut when we get to that. Oh, almost had a shortcut there. Alrighty. Oh, shoot! I just fell off. Just do the boring thing and do the light speed dash. Because before they just shortened it to the light dash in Adventure 2. And then they started calling it the light speed dash again in Sonic 06. I can't remember if they include speed in the title or not for Unleashed. Whatever, fuck that dude.
Yeah, not bad.
That rain is coming down pretty hard.
Welcome
It
to
is
Central
after
Park.
1 o'clock.
Oh, shoot. I've lost
So...
I bet that robot hauled butt after her. I'd better catch her before it does.
Yeah, more on that later. Bump into an invisible wall, why not? Let's replay this level for 50 rings, get the time limit done, and then I'll play the Twinkle Circuit minigame. After that, I will probably do all 3 missions for Speed Highway, and then call it a session. Because I do need to be getting to bed soon. Fixing the little sleep schedule, which has been not the best, unfortunately. But with some perseverance and discipline, I will get it fixed. Yeah, you can kill Yukikis just by driving into them, but only if you have enough speed. Which is why I'd usually say don't risk it. Unless you get that little bomb item back there. Like, that's probably preferable. If you didn't get it, just dodge them. Unless maybe you're speedrunning. I don't know if it's faster to go through them if you do that. Or if you're doing that. Alright. So, methinks it's time to go for that shortcut. Just because I already have over 50 rings, and you've already seen most of the level normally. What the hell? Why did I not get to the platform? That's where you go for it. Unless I was supposed to jump. No, that didn't work. Well, I have 31 lives. It's... Well, actually, no. Because I lost my rings from that death. I may as well play the level normally now. Because if I take the shortcut, there's a chance I could get there without having enough. Thanks, game. You're a real pal. Oh, as I get stuck on the corner of the room. Yeah, Sonic carries a lot of momentum in this level for some reason. Even when you're not going that fast. Like, even on this version of the game, you would think it's a DX problem, or a DX exclusive problem, but it's not. It is something I don't see people bring up often when comparing this game and Adventure 2. Adventure 2 doesn't really fucking have that problem. Now to futz around with the merry-go-round. Didn't want to have to do this. But hey, at least I got a shield out of it. Oh, shoot. Okay, we got some rings back here. We are A-okay, as long as we don't drown like a dumbass. Oh, I'm saying we. Here we go. Oh, come on. Camera, work with me. Work with me, camera. Come on. There we go. Oh, come on! The problems of playing the vanilla Dreamcast release. It is 100% how the devs intended it originally. None of these fancy things that the Dreamcast conversion mod benefits from. Like, Well, invincibility's not one of them. Like having the manual camera from DX. In a lot of ways, the conversion mod is the best of both worlds. Hell, you can play with the Dreamcast environments and lighting, but the DX models if they float your boat more. I may have to do more of the good old exploration to do this now. So yeah, you're seeing more of the level. Through my fuck-ups, you are seeing more of the level. I've already been through here. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I might actually call it after this next mission. Because the game is starting to frustrate me, and I clearly need some sleep. That, and I have a car maintenance appointment tomorrow that I should not oversleep for. The crown with nothing under it. I don't think I've ever seen that, aside from, you know, after everything comes out of it. No fancy spin dash skips today, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. Not on this level, anyway. More of that weird-ass momentum carrying. I mean, in some cases it helps, like right back there. It's nevertheless strange. Like, you go further than you expect to. It's blessing and a curse, I guess you could say. Oh my god, I'm not going to scream because through this microphone it would sound really bad. I was trying to use my old-ass Rock Band mic, which, you know, does have more of that bassy sound to it than this, you know, regular-ass Logitech headset. But it was coming through too quiet even on, like, max gain settings, or I guess lowest gain settings, like 0 dB. Not touching the slider at all in OBS is what I'm getting at. Like, it's just at the default setting. Oh my god, almost 7 minutes. That was terrible, but hey, at least I made the ring quota. I am so glad that none of them hit me with a bomb as I said that.
Yeah, not bad.
At least you saw more of the level there. But yes, just backtracking a little bit.
Welcome to Twinkle Park.
I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Now we gotta get to the end of the level in 3 minutes. A lot of that is dependent on this segment here and whether or not you can land the shortcut. Whether it's the platform shortcut or some well-timed spin dash jumps. Or both. I'm not quite sure what the world record for this level is, but I'm sure it's interesting. Anywho, where was I? Okay, driving to the Yukiki that time worked. It's all about speed there. But yeah, I was trying to use my Rock Band microphone in this stream, but it wasn't coming in loud enough. It wasn't coming in loud enough, and I'm too lazy to move my audio interface over here because it's at my desktop. I'm using my laptop to stream right now. Because that's by the retro gaming setup. All that's at my desk is the PS4 Pro and the PS3, technically on my kitchen table, connected to through a composite to HDMI upscaler. In fact, the very same one we used in a lot of the demo disc videos. Because the PS3 likes to be a little bitch and not record through HDMI. Even when you use an HDMI splitter that strips HDCP, even when you use that, the thing likes to drop audio at resolutions higher than 480p, and even at 480p now, I've noticed. So yeah, I can't do that. Just like I can't reach the fucking platform for fuck's sake, apparently. For apparently fuck's sake. That's what I almost said there. I'm gonna try this again, because it's supposed to work. The platform is there for a reason. I don't know why it's not working. That is how you get to it. You just go straight out, and you're supposed to land on it. Let's check it one more time. Yeah, it's like straight below. There is the platform right there, unless I'm going too fast somehow, which I'm like not touching the stick very much, so maybe I have to touch the stick even less. The stick. There we go. There we go. No, that didn't work either. So I'm going to have to get creative with some spin dash jumps, lest I lose all my lives here. Or I can just try it one more time, because I swear to God, it is supposed to work. Unless I'm just clipping through the platform. Am I just clipping through the platform? Did we find something that works better in DX than it does in the Dreamcast release? I just might have found that. Okay, I just straight up jumped past the platform that time. This is going to be the rest of the stream, folks. Me trying to get this shortcut and failing for the life of me. Goodness gracious. Come on. Okay, the life icon even disappeared for a second there. That was weird. Oh, Jesus. Okay, I went through the wall towards the end there. I don't know what the hell they want me to do here. You're supposed to go past where... You're supposed to go past that little entryway, because that's where the platform is. But I barely go, and I just fall to my death. There has to be a way to pull this off on Dreamcast. I am swear it's possible. It's possible on DX. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Good thing I good thing I have so many lives to test it with. Yeah, I'm going too fucking far. Okay, so I'll try going out and then pushing down on the stick to just go back. Maybe that'll work. Maybe I truly am carrying too much speed out there, because Twinkle Park will Twinkle Park, unfortunately. Okay, I'm on something. I'm on something. I don't know what. Okay, that was it. That was it. The Dreamcast camera is just that much a pain in the ass. And, oh my god, as you can clearly see. Oh my goodness. I might have already fucked it up. Okay, yeah, I essentially, more than essentially, fucked that one up. Okay, so I need to hold back after I go out, and then spin dash jump, because the Dreamcast camera is a pile of ass, as the AVGN might say. Except not too far back, or you'll just fall anyway. I don't know how I fucking pulled that off. The Dreamcast camera is a pile of dicks. It is like one of the few blemishes on this version of the game, besides locked 30 FPS and unskippable cutscenes. Bare Bones Chow Garden is another thing on the list. DX isn't all that bad of an experience, but again, aesthetically, Dreamcast has it beat. Fucking camera. God damn, that happened to me on the last run, too. I did not expect Twinkle Park of all fucking stages to take this long. Oh. Are you fucking kidding me? Hey, this might make a good clip at least. Twinkle Park, more like Twinkle Darkness within darkness awaits you, Riku. Oh my goodness. Nope. That one didn't work either. It's like, I know it's not RNG, but it's basically RNG at this point whether or not I even land on the platform, because I can't fucking see back there. The camera is supposed to... Well, even when you don't make adjustments to the camera, DX pans down there like it should. This just stays on the same fucking angle. If I get below, like, 10 lives, I might just go through the level normally and just use some spin dash trickery. Oh my goodness. Oh my... I actively pushed back on the stick that time, and it still sent me down the fucking pit. Because I can't see where the platform is, because I can only turn the camera left and right. Okay, I actually saw myself die that time. It's possible, had I just stayed neutral on the stick at a certain point there, maybe I would have actually landed on the platform. Oh my... So long as I don't touch any checkpoints, if I end up not making the time, I can come back here and essentially just start the whole section over. I might just do that, actually. Just make sure not to touch any checkpoints, and I'll be golden. I have made this on DX before without the shortcut. If you want audio proof of me doing it, it happened in Sunset's playthrough. Oh, okay, I touched a checkpoint. Still got a little over a minute left. Thankfully.